Chapter 2. A Hunter. Dayash bangs his fists on the large wooden doors. "You bitches better open up or we'll burn the place down!" he bellows. Only an Aldonian like him would dare threaten the goddess's servants. I can hear my Aunt Bina's scathing voice in my head. "What do you expect will happen to your soul if you tie yourself to such people? What will happen to Nima's soul?" I brush aside her righteous tone. "Let me try," I tell Dayash, stepping to the doors. "Please, Your Holiness, you can't refuse shelter to a child of the moon," I supplicate, using my Renyan heritage as leverage. At first, nothing happens, but then movement sounds from behind the doors, and a small window opens. An old Renyan woman stares at me intently. "How dare you bring the Cursed One's wrath on this house?" she demands. I should feel shame, but I ripped shame from my heart long ago. Shame is no use for a hunter. Shame won't keep my daughter Nima alive. She points her chin in Dayash's direction and says in the old Renyan, "He is a sun worshipper." But truly, Dayash worships nothing but his interests. Hunting for horns is forbidden by the true religion, and she knows that. "If you don't give us shelter, we will die before night," I plead. She looks at Dayash and back at me again and sighs. "May the goddess save our souls." She offers in prayer as she opens the door. We run inside before she can change her mind. The monastery is cold. The white marble walls protect it from the summer heat. I can see more of the goddess's servants inside. They are all Renyan women dressed in silver cloaks, their blue hair cut short. They stare at us with dismay. Dayash's red Aldonian hair is sacrilege in this holy place. They would never have opened the door for him, even if he had burned the monastery down. But they couldn't refuse a Renyan, one of their own. Since the War of Light 100 years ago, Aldonians have ruled all of Amada. Renyans had to submit to the true religion which accepts only one god, Sun. Those who defy this belief are burned to death. But Renyans assumed the risk, and for 100 years, we've been reduced to worshipping the goddess only in secret. According to Aldonian scripture, Renyans were created by Sun on the first day, the day he made the sky. That is why their hair and eyes are blue. Aldonians claimed Sun created Renyans to make Amada beautiful. Goddess knows what that even means. On the second day, Sun created the Khazaris, being so rich in gold that even their hair and eyes are yellow. They claim Sun created Khazaris to make Amada rich. That probably means to make Aldon rich. On the third day, Sun created the Aldonians to rule them all. I don't know why their hair and eyes are red. There are many things I don't know and understand about the true religion. In Amada, skin color is insignificant. Whether dark as night or fair as snow, what matters are the colors of the hair and eyes. These are the determinants of race. Unless you have horns. No one cares about your colors if you have horns. Because if you have horns, it means you are cursed. And no pure soul will touch, talk to, or do business with cursed ones. Any interaction with a cursed one signifies that, according to the true religion, you and your children's souls will be contaminated with their sins for 7 generations. So no pure soul, regardless of race, engages with them. Not that anyone could even if they wanted to, as they're such murderous creatures. I genuflect and kiss the holy woman's hands as I thank her. "Bless me, Mother," I ask of her. "You are beyond blessings, child," she says, her voice thick with grief. I can't stop my tears, and I can feel the contempt in Dayash's glare. "Those whores would never rule Aldonian men. They behave perfectly well under us. You Renyans are lame excuses for men. That is the problem. You're more cunts than men." He loves saying this to me, which is why I never told him of Nima. Her name won't be in his dirty mouth. Dayach thinks I hunt horns for money, like him. He could never understand. An Aldonian could never understand going through all this for love. How the goddess can allow this inferior race to rule us is beyond my understanding. But the goddess is so beyond my grasp that the holy woman just said I'm beyond a blessing, and I know she is right. There is no blessing that can undo my sins. With the cursed ones after him, the only people who can save Dayach's ass are those Renyan women he hates so much, and he knows it, so he can glare all he wants. One of the goddess's servants leads us to a small room and quickly locks us inside. Dayach slams against the door and starts swearing, but she is right to lock us in. An Aldonian man can't be trusted in a Renyan monastery, no more than a fox in a henhouse. The room is nearly bare. There are 2 cots, and a drawing of the goddess hangs on the white walls. I lie on the cot and stare at the ceiling. They will not let us hide here for more than a night. If the butcher gets here, he will burn the monastery down, no matter how many burn with us. He has torched many monasteries. Every pure soul who had the misfortune of encountering him met their death in the worst of ways, no matter their colors, sex, or age. But he wasn't part of the group of cursed ones who chased us. They were all female, and no cursed ones but the butcher would dare burn down a house of the goddess. They worship her too, unlike the Aldonians and the Khazaris. Dayach throws his satchel to the ground. "Tomorrow we'll head to Milasuri. We'll get the highest bid for the horn's extract there." I suppress the glee his words evoke deep inside me. Milasuri, Renya's capital. Home. I'll get to see my Nima. She's 8 by now. The healers said she would not live for more than 5 years, but I saved her. As long as I breathe, she will keep living. I think of her sweet face, those impossible dimples. She'll run to me saying, "Papa, Papa," and I'll toss her into the air like I always do, even as big as she's gotten. Suddenly, the sounds of the cursed one's cries flood my brain, and I can't help but press the heels of my palms to my eyes until I see white circles and groan in frustration. He couldn't have been more than 10. I don't understand their language. It sounds so animalistic. But I understood well enough that he was begging me not to kill him. It had to be done. "Stop being such a cunt." Dayach throws a loaf of bread at me. "You've been a hunter for 3 years already. You can't keep having a meltdown every time you have a good hunt." But I can still feel the boy's warm blood on my hands. "He was so young," I croak at him. Dayach snorts. "It's not our fault the grown ones are so hard to kill. If we get a Khazari lasso, then we'll be in the big league. Then we can take down grown ones," he says. The cursed one's power is unnatural. That female who led them cracked the bones of our hunting partner, Renyan, like they were twigs. And she's not even the butcher. He would have probably drank Renyan's blood in front of us before he killed us all. We were lucky he wasn't there. The cursed ones are monsters. They are the stuff of nightmares. And now they are after us. Besides, it doesn't matter. They breed so much that they don't even notice when one of their younglings goes missing. It's one less mouth to feed, and you know how poor they are. You did them all a favor," Dayach says deridingly. He's right. Why should the cursed one's child have lived instead of Nima? I don't have 12 children, just one. What kind of father wouldn't do anything to save his daughter? When the healers said the disease in her blood wouldn't let her see past the age of 5, I knew what I had to do. I saw her cheeks go hollow, her skin wane, and her mouth form cries of pain. "Papa, help me," she said. "For Nima, it is worth it." When Bina tried to stop me, saying it was against the goddess's will, I was furious with her. Would she say the same if it was her daughter? If the goddess doesn't want this, then why give the cursed ones their horns? Why give Renyans the knowledge to develop an extract from these horns that provides immortality? Bina had no good answers, only righteous lectures about morals and purest shit. The purity of Renya, my ass. Better a living daughter than a pure dead one. Hunting is more moral than a parent letting his child die at the age of 5. I don't take it for myself. Never. I don't seek immortality like the royals. My Nima deserves to live, to grow up. "Until when?" Bina asked. "Once you start, you can never stop. The extract works only while taken frequently. She will never be old enough." I think of Nima's smile, those precious dimples. Until I die. I'll stop when I die. She will die only when I die. Just as the sun begins to rise the next morning, one of the goddess's servants leads Dayach and I out of the monastery. She doesn't speak. She doesn't even look at us. We are sinners, only helped for the blood they share with me. "Forever we are children of the moon," I tell her in Renyan as we walk out the door. She darts a wary look at Dayach. If the Aldonian church finds out it is the goddess they worship and not sun, they will all be burned to death. But Dayach won't tell anyone. He's a deserter from the Aldonian army. Who can he tell? She nods to me grimly and shuts the door firmly behind us. We start the walk to Milisuri. The morning air is still cool. The sky is still quite dark. After an hour's walk, the cursed ones catch up to us. They weren't anywhere to be seen, and then they appeared. I start to run, not bothering to look at how Dayach is faring. Unlike me, he has battle training and a sword. And honestly, I don't really care. He's scum. I only endure him because I need him for the hunting. I run as fast as I can, but a burning pain explodes in my shin. An axe is plunged into it, thrown by one of the cursed ones. I fall to the ground and start to crawl. The cursed one grabs my ankles and drags me back to where Dayach is fighting another cursed one. A third cursed one stands and watches them, hands at her waist. The cursed one who grabbed me ties me to a tree nearby. She removes the axe from my shin and a horrible, fresh wave of pain hits me. I try to break free of the ties and reach my knife, but I only gain more agony at my fruitless efforts. She doesn't even spare me a look as she goes to watch Dayach fighting the other cursed one. Dayach holds his sword and moves it deftly as a well-trained Aldonian soldier. He's a big guy, taller than the cursed one fighting him. She has an axe in each hand and keeps dodging him. The cursed ones usually use axes, but it is a disadvantaging weapon in a sword battle. The sword allows for an attack from a relative distance. The cursed one ducks and avoids him. She doesn't try to throw the axes at him, but instead uses them to respond to the strikes of his sword. The two cursed ones watch the battle closely, barking orders in their animalistic language to the one fighting Dayach. That's when I realize why only one of them is fighting him. They're training her. She's young and can't be more than 16. I watch Dayach with the sword. He's fighting for his life, but he is nothing more than a training target for them. Finally, she succeeds in throwing his sword with her axes, and they cheer for her. The one who threw her axe at me now throws it at Dayach, and it pins his hand to the tree trunk close to him. Training is over. Dayach cries in pain and tries to fight them off, but it's pointless. She beats him viciously and then ties him to the tree. The young cursed one goes through our bags and finds the 2 horns we last harvested and didn't have time to grind to an extract yet. She shows the horns to the others, and they look aghast. I know they can tell how young he was by the horns. They're so small and still soft. The cursed one who hadn't fought us and only watched until now takes out a knife and approaches Dayach. She has 2 horns like all the cursed ones, but her colors are Aldonian. Her hair and eyes are red, a sign of interracial intercourse. There aren't any cursed ones with Renyan coloring. Never. To force a female is a sin toward the goddess. Why any pure soul would want to even touch a cursed one to begin with is beyond me. Still, it's not often one sees cursed ones with Aldonian or Khazari coloring. They say the cursed ones kill the babies born with those colors. But here she is, and it seems she is the commander of the other 2 despite their black eyes and hair, the usual coloring of the cursed ones. She even wears blood-red lip paint that highlights her colors. It probably belonged to a Renyan she killed or robbed. She sure didn't buy it. No one in Amada would dare sell anything to a cursed one. And even if they would, she wouldn't be able to afford it. She doesn't kill Dayach immediately. She makes cuts at his main arteries, 2 deep slices at the neck, 2 at the armpits, and 2 at the thighs. They're going to bleed us to death, slowly. It's their preferred method of killing. She approaches me with the knife, smiling like a cat that caught a mouse. She's enjoying this. I've killed, but I never took pleasure in it. I always tried to make it as quick as possible. I'm not a monster like her. There is a sinking feeling in my stomach as I realize I can do nothing to stop her. Yet I beg. I know it won't help me, but I don't want to die. Please, I only hunt so my child can live. She's sick, please, I say. She loses the smile, and a pensive look crosses her face. She nods and then, to my shock, speaks to me in Aldonian. I had never imagined they could learn any other language. Theirs sounds so beastly, with all those guttural sounds. Her accent is heavy. How many of my people's lives for your child's life? I don't answer. Whatever the number, she's made her point. I'm going to bleed to death, and Nima will not live to see her 9th birthday. She cuts me the same way she cut Dayach. Then she takes out the red apples from our satchel and hands them to the other 2. She sits on the ground, leaning on one of the oak tree trunks. She looks at me and takes a bite. They'll stay for hours and watch until we are both dead. Like the monsters I always knew they were.